quick question for you. Who are you becoming by avoiding what you need to face the most? Okay, let me put it this way. Everything's a practice. Every day we are practicing something, whether it's practicing avoidance, practicing making excuses, practicing getting fit, practicing counting our calories, practicing being a better communicator, practicing the piano, practicing getting to work on time. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that we are doing repetitively, ritually, mindfully, consciously, we will get good at. The idea of mastery, it may not even have to be necessarily like this devoted, dedicated practice. It just is something that happens as a result of consistency. Now, obviously, it can work both ways. If you wake up every day and practice the piano and you track your food and you go for a walk, then that practice, that level of mastery may produce results that work really well for you. But if you wake up in the morning and you practice lying and reframing and justifying and making some sort of excuse, deprioritizing something that you said that was very, very important, but you'll do it later, then you get really, really good at that. And this is the thing with things like avoidance, things like being triggered, things like being upset that other people don't honor our feelings. That itself can be a practice. If we go out into the world and practice that other people need to treat us a certain way before we're able to think, act, feel, or do certain things, then we get really, really good at becoming dependent on other people, needing to provide some sort of special container or environment for us to be able to live our life. You can see the paradox of that, because while on the surface it might seem, well, that's a wonderful thing, and that means I don't have to deal with those things, it also makes us in a very vulnerable position. It makes us vulnerable because, well, what if people don't want to do that? So there are things that we might really, really want to do in life. We want to make more money. We want to get fitter. We want to have a better relationship. And yet to do that would require us to actually face something about ourselves that might be very, very uncomfortable, that we keep abdicating, that we keep passing off, that we keep pretending doesn't exist or it's not important, even though the whole of us would actually know that that's the thing that's in the way. And so at some particular point, it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy that we know the thing we're avoiding. We're not being responsible. We're not taking care. We're abdicating that thing to someone else. And then we get very upset when we don't produce that result. This is why so many people talk about, self-limiting beliefs and why people get stuck forever and they never change their life. And it's a very, very intellectual thing to say, right? Like just to say, oh, you're getting stuck in life because you won't do this, yada, yada, yada. Just stop doing that and your life will be great. At some point, what's useful is going, okay, can you start to even observe when you're avoiding things? Now, that might be a difficult conversation. That might be an awkward question. That could be a certain relationship. And that relationship might represent something to you. Maybe it represents an area where you don't feel like you have much power, or a situation you feel like you can never win in, or a situation where you feel that you'd be dominated, or a situation that you feel misunderstood. That is telling you a very, very important part about you, something that's worth facing, something that's worth looking in the mirror and pulling on that thread. Because here's the deal. If you go through life and the only way that you can communicate, the only way that you can have a relationship or be happy or thrive is that everyone around you must understand you. I understand the appeal of that as someone who's also felt very misunderstood in life. And yet at the same time, you become extremely vulnerable because the reality is people might just not understand you. You may take it very personally. And at some point, by avoiding that part of you, that very, very uncomfortable, triggered, scared version of you that feels so hurt when you're misunderstood, rather than facing that full on for yourself and saying, okay, what am I avoiding about this? What feeling am I not feeling? What am I not wanting to face in me that is so uncomfortable? That what I would prefer to do is put myself in situations where that can't happen. And that ends up creating a very small and a very safe life. And then at the same time, we then get upset that we don't have this more exciting life doing these big things with cool people around the world, making more money or having a happier life, and not realizing that we created that prison for ourselves. What is it in your life that you refuse to acknowledge, that you refuse to face, that if someone pointed it out to you, you would change the subject, flat out deny it, disassociate, whatever it might be. In doing that, you're going to get really good at that, and that's going to inform who you become, the way you live your life, the friends you keep, the books you read, the houses you live in, the jobs you choose, the foods you eat, the food you won't eat. All of that will be informed by these parts of you that you won't face. This is part of looking into the parts of yourself that are very, very unflattering, that are very uncomfortable. It's looking at yourself in a mirror under fluorescent lights. It's listening to the recording of your own voice and going, oh, that's not me. That couldn't be me. I sound horrible. I look horrible. And being able to sit with that and being able to look at yourself with love, not look away, be able to sit with yourself and go, yep, and that's the version of me that looks like that with the fluorescent lights on. So who are you becoming by avoiding what you need to face the most? That's the quick question I have for you today.